Good morning, everyone. Welcome to September and our first commission meeting of September. I hope you're having a good end of the summer as best as you can during this pandemic. We'll do a roll call, Deborah. Thank you.
Certainly. Mayor Brooke?
Here.
Vice Mayor Carter?
Present.
Commissioner Sarah?
Present.
Commissioner Vignola?
Here.
Commissioner Simmons?
Here.
City Manager Babinick?
Here.
City Attorney Hearn?
Here.
Thank you.
And if you'd all please rise for a moment of silence of whatever's in your heart. And then I'm going to ask Commissioner Simmons if he'll lead us in the pledge after that. Thank you very much. Commissioner Simmons, would you be kind enough to lead us in the pledge?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Great. Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, John. You and your family are in our prayers.
Thank you, Mayor.
If you would please share with us the virtual meeting statement.
This meeting shall be held in accordance with Coral Springs Resolution 2020-16. Due to the ongoing state of emergency and recommendations from all public health authorities, the City of Coral Springs recommends that all persons view and participate in the meeting through electronic means. This meeting can be viewed on City TV, Bluestream channels 725, 25, and 25.7, online at www.coralsprings.org/citytv, and can be heard on City Radio 1670 AM. For those individuals who may not have access to view by any of the virtual means provided above, the city is providing access to view the meeting on City TV outside the Coral Springs Municipal Complex at 9500 West Sample Road. If you plan to attend, please practice social distancing, not standing closer than 6 feet to those around you, and wear a mask. Public comment will be received by phone and email. The local call number is 954-344-5900. If you want to submit a written request, please complete the form located at coralsprings.org/public comment. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you very much, John. Next up, we have recognitions, and our first recognition this morning is of Amy Moret. I hope I pronounced your last name right, Amy. If I didn't, please correct me. Amy started a fantastic initiative during this pandemic to recognize graduating seniors through a Facebook page that she created a few months ago. And I believe over 1,000 seniors got pleasant surprises from friends and neighbors and strangers. So I'd love for Amy to share a little bit about her initiative and be presented with a certificate. So Amy Moret, thank you for everything you've done for the seniors here in Coral Springs and Parkland. Thanks for your commitment to our community and to the kids. I love being a part of it. And Amy, we just want to say thank you from the bottom of our hearts on behalf of the entire City Commission. And when they put the certificate up, I'll be happy to read it. And Amy, if we have you on the line, if you'd be kind enough to share a little bit about your program. So while we're waiting for you, Amy, I'm going to read off the special recognition of Amy Moret, Adopt a Senior. Thank you for your innovative idea of continuing to celebrate the class of 2020 by creating the Facebook page Adopt a Senior in Coral Springs and Parkland. Your thoughtfulness towards our students exemplifies mutual community care and a great example of giving back during this tough time.
Mayor, I don't know that Amy checked in. Patrick, did Amy check in?
I do not see her, no.
Okay, no worries. We'll move on. I'll text her momentarily, see if she'll pop on. Our next recognition is of Simon Properties for their assistance and dedication during the various food distribution efforts held at the Coral Square Mall. And I see Jeff. How are you?
I'm doing well. Good morning, Mayor.
We really appreciate everything you all did to help so many families. It was in the thousands on a regular basis. It was a great part of our community giving back and being united. And Jeff, if you'd share a few words about your experience with it and why you decided to help our community in that way.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mayor Brook. We couldn't have executed that without the teamwork and the partnership with the city and Feeding South Florida. Frank Babinick and Alex Falcone did an excellent job of putting that program together. The city volunteers, I saw hundreds of people, police officers, city faculty and staff who just ran a really great program. Coral Square Mall and Simon Property Group were very proud to help out our neighbors who are in need due to the pandemic. And we hope to see them back here in the mall shopping here soon.
Awesome. Frank, would you like to share a few words as well?
Sure, Mayor. Thank you. As Jeff said, this was a tremendous partnership, and the interesting thing about this is our emergency management department, and our director Alex Falcone oversees special events. And when we realized, that our community was in need of assistance with food, he kind of just put out the word that we needed help, and you could not believe the amount of employees that came forward and volunteered and offered to help, wanted to help. We're looking to help. We didn't have to go to, I don't think we had to go to one employee and said, hey, we need you to do this. They came to us and said, what do you need us to do? And that really just is a symbol of how dedicated our employees are to this organization and their community. Matter of fact, they came up with a name for themselves, Feeding for the Soul, or Food for the Soul, sorry. And, our staff just did a tremendous job in putting this together, and we truly appreciate the partnership we have with the mall and with Waste Pro and Feeding South Florida, all the folks that helped us get this done. And again, I can't say enough about staff's ability to get stuff like this done and their willingness to do it.
One of my favorite things is, during COVID, especially earlier on, you really weren't seeing many, if any, people. And to be able to go in a safe place and be with everybody from our city and so many volunteers, and including from Church by the Glades and other organizations, was just really, really special to be a part of it. And I also want to thank staff and Jeff and the mall for everything that you did to help our community. Vice Mayor, would you like to share anything? I know you had a great experience while you were there.
Thank you. It's so hard to get yourself off mute quickly. Yes, I loved it. I loved the just what the city manager said about how staff came together and their amazing coordination efforts to help serve. I was there every week but one, and to be able to give gratitude and receive it back, it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. Thank you so much, Coral Square, for participating with us.
Awesome. And this is on behalf of the entire City Commission, Jeff. We thank you.
Thank you. It was a pleasure working with all of you.
You got it. So I'm going to be happy to read this, Jeffrey, with Simon Properties. The City of Coral Springs thanks you for, thank you. The city thanks you. No, that's proper. For your assistance and dedication to supporting our Feeding South Florida food distribution efforts held at the Coral Square Mall. Due to your efforts, we provided food to 5,520 local families. Wow, that's awesome, that were in need during this pandemic. Thank you again, Jeff and Simon Properties. So our next recognition is of Waste Pro, also supported our food distribution efforts during the pandemic. So I'm not sure who's here from Waste Pro, but if you can, Matt, put up that certificate. And if we have a representative, we'd love them to say hello. So I don't know if we have one on the call yet, but this is a special recognition for Waste Pro USA. The City of Coral Springs thanks you for your assistance with our Feeding South Florida food distribution efforts, and we're appreciative of our community members with such passion and dedication to the wellness of the city. Thank you very much, Waste Pro USA. Do we have somebody from Waste Pro?
Good morning, Mayor. Can you hear me?
Absolutely.
Good morning. I'm sorry, I was on mute. Good morning, everyone. This is Farid. I'm the division manager for the Pompano office. I really appreciate the recognition. It was a pleasure for us to be part of that. It was a privilege to share all those days with everyone around and make sure that, it was a really good cause. And we will continue providing our relationship with the city and the residents. It was a really a true privilege to be part of that event. Thank you so much to all of you.
You're very, very welcome. Very welcome. And Vice Mayor, you actually get to head off this next recognition for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So I'll let you take it away, okay, Vice Mayor?
Okay, just get back to my agenda.
You bet.
Get it on the right page. Okay, sorry.
And do we have somebody accepting on behalf?
Ray and Kim Sulpikas are here joining us.
Great.
And so September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. And it's a time that we honor and remember children and families that are affected by the rare disease of cancer. And we rally our support to give them better outcomes and to help raise awareness, inspiring action and creating hope and finding cures to defeat childhood cancer. And that's what Kids of Love does. So it's really sad that thousands and thousands of kids every year are affected by childhood cancer. And it is the leading cause of death in children and adolescents in the United States. Every child with cancer, regardless of race, social class, or financial means, deserves access to the best possible treatment and medical care. We need to commit to advance research and improve treatment and to ensure a healthier future for all our children. These children and their families need our support, assistance, and caring from everyone as we work together to find a cure. And as a community, it's important that we come together to stand with those who are being affected, to support them and to make sure that children with cancer and their families do not go through this journey alone. And we thank you, Kids of Love, for all that you do in supporting kids and their families with cancer. And we have a special proclamation for you. Our special proclamation is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. Childhood cancer affects thousands of young children each year, and it's the leading cause of death by disease in children and adolescents in the United States. Every child with cancer, regardless of race, social class, or financial means, deserves access to the best possible treatment and medical care. We need to commit to advance research to improve treatment and to ensure a healthier future for our children. As a community, it's important that we come together to stand with those who are being affected and support them and make sure that the children with cancer and their families do not go through this journey alone. Therefore, we, the City of Commission of Coral Springs, proclaim September 2020 as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, signed by the mayor and your commissioners. Kim or Ray, do you have something you want to say?
Yes, thank you very much for doing this for us again this year. Last year, we did have two of our heroes with us at the commission meeting, and we are happy to say that this year we were able to do a celebration parade for one of those girls who just celebrated her 17th birthday after being in remission from brain cancer. And we would like to thank and give special thanks to the City of Coral Springs Police Department for joining us at this parade. We had over 35 cars in the parade. And the police were there, and actually one of the sergeants who is a brain cancer survivor was able to spend some time with this young lady and let her know that there is hope. And so without your all support and without the community support, we wouldn't be able to do what we do. And we thank you very much for bringing smiles and turning tears into smiles for these children. Thank you.
And we're grateful to partner with you.
Just want to say one other thing. If anyone in the city or businesses want to get childhood cancer awareness bracelets to wear for the month of September, just contact Kids of Love at kidsoflove.org.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kim and Ray, and thank you, Vice Mayor, for bringing that to everybody's attention.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That is it for the recognitions, proclamations, and presentations. This is also Suicide Awareness Month. I believe we'll be doing something at the next meeting in September. Am I correct, Frank?
Yes, Mayor, and we're also going to talk a little bit more about that later today on some of the things we're going to be doing.
Okay, wonderful. I appreciate that. And I'll share about that during my comments. So we are on to public comment. Are there any speakers waiting? Deborah? Oh, I'm sorry. Amy is on the call. Amy Moret is on the call. So we can bring Amy back so she can share with us a little bit about her Adopt a Senior program and what it meant for the families. And thanks everybody for being patient during this pause. Yeah, Amy, we can't see you, but you'll have to unmute in order for us to hear you. I don't want to wait too long. I don't know, Luam, if you're able to help her.
Mayor, I don't even see Amy in the Zoom session.
Okay. Maybe you can reach out to her and possibly get her back. If not, so be it. But let's move on to public comment, Deborah.
Hello, Mayor. We
Hello.
do not have any signed speakers. We do not have anyone waiting outside City Hall. And Robert, do we have anyone in the queue?
We have no callers in the queue.
All right, wonderful. In a month that we have budget hearings, I think that says a lot of good things about our community. Wonderful. We'll go on to public hearings. First is item number 5, ordinance 2020-119, first reading regarding the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee.
This is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, amending Chapter 2, Article 3, Section 235 and 238 of the Coral Springs Land Development Code relating to the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee in order to be consistent with the newly adopted state legislation, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for an effective date. This is a request to hold a public hearing, approve first reading, and set second reading for September 21st, and we have a brief presentation here.
Great, thank you, John.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, there.
All right. I'll just jump right into it. This is the Land Development Code Amendment relating to the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee. So the city established an advisory committee back in 2008, which is required by Florida statute as a recipient of State Housing Initiative funding. The committee is responsible for reviewing policies, land development regulations, comprehensive plan policies, and other aspects related to the affordable housing. Also, an important task of theirs is to make recommendations to encourage affordable housing through the Triennial Incentive Report, which is a report that we submit to the state every 3 years, and it requires City Commission approval before we submit that report. And currently, our committee consists of 10 members, so we do fulfill that requirement of a 7 minimum committee. On July 1st, 2020, Governor DeSantis signed House Bill 1339 implementing changes to regulations that govern this committee. So the first change is to Section 235. This refers to the composition, appointment of members, and terms of the committee. The amendment requires that one member now be from the City Commission, and this serving commission member must attend biannual regional workshops under the Affordable Housing Catalyst Program. And I just want to emphasize here that it is important that these regional workshops are attended, as new law states if they are not attended, our funding could be at risk.
Nara, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Do you know when any of them are scheduled as of now?
No, not as of yet. They have not released any training dates as of yet.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, and the second change is to Section 238, which requires the AHAC to submit an annual report to the City Commission and the entity providing statewide training, as opposed to every 3 years. So with that, staff recommends to approve the first reading of the ordinance 2020-119, amending the Coral Springs Land Development Code relating to the Affordable Housing Advisory Committee, set a second and final reading for the September 21st, 2020 City Commission meeting, and for the Commission to appoint a new member to the AHAC on September 21st, 2020.
Great, thank you very much. This is a public hearing, so I'll open it up to the public at the moment.
I've reached out to Robert to give us an update if anyone's online, and he replied no.
Okay, very good. So we will close the public hearing and ask for a motion for approval.
Move to approve.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Is there somebody on the commission that would prefer to receive the appointment for the Affordable Housing Committee? Commissioner Simmons? Okay. Would you like to talk a little bit?
Sure, not a problem. This is just something that when I was running for office and even when I got here, I've been extremely invested and interested in our affordable housing committee, as well as what we're doing as a city to create those opportunities. I mean, we all know we live in a tough market in South Florida. So it's a little bit harder to allow more affordable homes, but I think as the millennial population is getting older and trying to become homeowners and things like that, I would love Coral Springs to be a more welcoming city on that front. I think it's also important to note that affordable housing doesn't necessarily mean Section 8. Doesn't mean that you're going to have, rundown places for people to live in. These are going to, affordable housing means just that, allowing people to afford to live in a comfortable environment, in a comfortable home. We live in an area where teachers can barely afford to live where they teach. And that's just one example. So I would love to be a part of this to help. I don't want us to just say we can't do anything because of the state or because of the market or anything like that. And I get, those are all things we have to consider, but I'm more interested in what we can control or what we can do as a city.
That's awesome, Commissioner. Thank you. And on the 21st, I'll plan to make the motion to approve you to be our representative. Further?
Mayor, for second reading, then we will bring a companion resolution where you'll be appointing, and if there's consensus there, we'll put Commissioner Simmons in that reso.
Wonderful, John. Thank you. Any further discussion on the motion? Commissioner Sarah? No? Okay. Very good. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right. Carries unanimously. Thank you very much, Nara. Next is ordinance 2020. I'm sorry. I do see Amy Moret. Well, now I don't see her. Oh, yes. So I'm going to go back. Amy, can we get you back here?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, great. So I'm just pulling you back up so you can share a few words about why you started the Adopt a Senior program and the difference you heard that it made in our community.
Okay. First off, thank you, Scott, so much for recognizing me. I'm so humbled by it, and I just wanted to say thank you so much. And the reason that I started it is because I'm the mom of 3 girls. I have a junior in college, and then my daughter, Carly, was a senior last year at Coral Springs Charter School. And, she's my middle child, so she always misses out on the big milestones, the firsts and all those, things. So when we found out that she wasn't going to be able to do, the typical graduation, I knew that I was hurt and upset and sad because I wanted to see her and she wanted to, do all the graduation stuff. So anyway, so I knew that as a parent, I couldn't have been the only one that was going through this. So I figured, let me reach out to our community and get all the adults involved and just spread the love. And I just wanted to make these kids feel special. And, I really didn't think it was going to take off the way it did, but we had about 2,000 seniors that were adopted. I know Scott had adopted a couple, I adopted a couple, and we just showered them with love and little gifts and tokens of our, appreciation, just to let them know how proud we are and that, even though they couldn't do the traditional graduation, that we were thinking of them and they were loved, and we just wanted to show, so I started that page. It took off. I made so many new friends, and I'm following some of these kids now as they're freshmen in college, and I don't know, it's just a great thing. And and that's why I started it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on your graduate and congratulations on your achievement. And I and the rest of the commission, we're very happy to recognize you for your special efforts.
Oh, thank you so much, you guys. That really means a lot. That's not what I was looking for at all. It just, I just did it out of love and just, loving these kids and loving our community. And yeah, so I'm glad it took off the way it did. And let me tell you, I made a lot of nice relationships. The page is still open. We go back on, we post pictures now of the kids in college. And
Awesome.
So it's pretty cool.
I'll have to check it out again. What's the name of the page again, Amy?
Yeah, it's Adopt a Senior 2020 Coral Springs Parkland.
Great. Well, thank you again, Amy. I'm glad that we were able to reconnect you with us today. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much, Scott. I appreciate it. And thanks so much, you guys. You amazing city. I don't know. Unfortunately, we just moved out of Coral Springs. I miss it already. We moved to the West Coast, but once you live in Coral Springs, and once you're a Coral Springs resident, you'll always be one forever, for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Amy. And thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Amy, recognize her. You're welcome, Amy. You're welcome. So back to item number 6 on the agenda, ordinance 2020-120, first reading regarding public nuisances.
This is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, amending section 25-1 of the Code of the City of Coral Springs entitled Certain Buildings and Premises Declared Public Nuisances, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for an effective date. It's request to hold a public hearing, approve first reading, and set second reading for the next meeting in September. And Mayor, this is coming from our office. The governor on June 29th approved House Bill 625, which expanded the crimes which can be declared a public nuisance. So what it allows the city to do is to abate those nuisances in different ways. We have, over the years, when we've had several arrests at a certain place for prostitution, for example, or criminal gang activity, we have gotten the landlord to execute an order to agree to assist us in cleaning up his location. Fortunately, in the last several years, we haven't had much reason to call our public nuisance board, and that's a good thing. But this law now expands it. So we have this is for criminal gang activity, drug activity, prostitution activity, pain management clinics was passed several years ago, and we used that to help abate that. Now it's expanded it to actually for some more serious crimes relating to murder, attempted murder, felony murder, aggravated battery. So we're getting together again with the police department to educate on the expansions. If there are any areas that need enforcement, the Public Nuisance Board, which is a volunteer board that has been appointed by this commission, we can get them back together. It's been actually a couple of years since we've had a meeting, so we re-educate them on the Sunshine Law, et cetera, as we move forward. They do have a separate board council because usually the landlords and homeowners can be represented by attorneys. But so this is simply expanding it, remain consistent with state law. And I know it's a public hearing, so.
Great. Thank you. This is a public hearing. Is there anyone that wishes to be heard? You're muted, Deborah.
My space bar didn't work. Mayor, there's no one currently in the queue to speak on this item.
Okay, very well. And we will we'll conclude the public hearing, and I'll entertain a motion.
To approve.
Second.
Okay.
All right, moved by Commissioner Vignola, seconded by Vice Mayor Carter. Any discussion? Go ahead, Commissioner Vignola.
Yeah, so I've been getting reached out to by quite a few residents as of late about nuisances in the neighborhoods. This week I had a couple calls from some neighbors out in the Oaks. There are certain issues that are just making housing very difficult to stay in. And I hate to see long-term residents. Two of the residents that I spoke with in this community have been there for over 30 years. And they're saying if something's not done, we're going to move. There are a lot of issues where homes are nonstop calls for service. Police are there all the time. EMS is there all the time. I'm glad we're taking some proactive steps here. But there is some big problems in our community that we really need to go ahead and focus on.
Thank you, Larry. Anybody else? Go ahead, Commissioner Simmons.
Commissioner Vignola, if you could, what problems do you think that there are that we should address when it comes to nuisances? Asking for specifics.
Yeah, I mean, this specific home that they were talking about, apparently there's lots of people living in the home. There's been a lot of apparent drug overdoses and those types of activities, people coming in and out of the neighborhood all night long, that type of stuff. To be honest with you, I have one over by my house and the cops are there a few times a week. There's fights outside of the home. It's you know, I've come home before and had police out in front of my house with AR-15s going in because there's been that types of disputes in those homes. But this is something that's happening kind of throughout our community, and I'm glad staff's going ahead and taking a look at it. But I think it's something that, as time goes on, is going to become more and more of an issue in our community that we need to focus on.
What do you think? I guess what do you think? What measures or how do you think we should be? I guess proactive. If you think this is something that's going to continue to rise and be an issue throughout the city.
I don't understand what you're trying to get at here.
I'm not trying to get at anything. I'm trying to just understand your thought process. You saying that this is becoming more prevalent right now in our city, and you had just said that this could continue to be a problem. That meaning it could grow. And so I was curious as to what do you think that we should do as a commission to be proactive on something that you see that could continue to be a problem or become a bigger problem. I'm not trying to get at anything.
I mean, look, from what I've been seeing, I think this is a great step. I also think that we need to communicate with our police department and our code enforcement to make sure when there's calls out there, we find out if they're renting rooms in homes, because some people are turning around and they're renting out rooms in their homes. And I mean, I've heard of a couple places that have basically taken a single family home and turned them into brothels and that type of stuff. And then trust me, when you're woken up at 2:30 in the morning on a Sunday night, because there's police activity out front and screaming and yelling and fighting, it's not really making it the type of place that you want to live with your family. So staff I know is looking into it. I've spoken to Frank, I've spoken to Chief Perry, and I know they're going to continue to look at what we can do to try to be a little bit more proactive in this and try to maintain our neighborhoods.
I also think that neighborhoods of integrity will be something that we can be utilizing in order to be proactive in this regard, Commissioner. Would anybody else like to go ahead, Commissioner Simmons? Okay. All right. Any other discussion? Thank you both very much. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Carries unanimously. Thank you. Next on the agenda is our consent items. Are there any pulls?
I have 2 pulls, Mr. Mayor.
Sure. Sean, which ones?
Can I pull number 10, please, and number 14?
10 and 14. Yep. Gotcha. Any other pulls? All right. Vice Mayor, would you like to move the balance?
Yes, I'd like to move the balance.
Great.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Vignola. Any discussion on the balance of the consent agenda besides items 10 and 14? All right. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Carries unanimously. Next is item number 10. Commissioner Sarah, go ahead.
Thank you. I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank our police department and our SRO program. We have 22 individuals that service our schools, and they're working incredibly hard to keep our students safe. As a former school administrator, I know how much value they bring on a daily basis, and how they really become part of the culture of the school. So I just wanted to give them a shout out. And I know in talking to some of them pretty recently, I know they're chomping at the bit to get the kids back, but they're creatively working ways to stay in contact with not only the the faculty on a daily basis because they're there, but also the students as a whole. So just a shout out to them. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Commissioner. Would you like to move it?
I would absolutely love to move it. Move to approve.
Great.
Okay.
Moved and seconded. Any further discussion? I agree. Our SROs are awesome, and I'm so glad we've been doing this for as many years as we have. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? All right, carries unanimously. Next is item 14, amendment to the alley roadway improvement.
I just want to make a comment that this work is absolutely necessary, and I appreciate staff making sure that we're taking care of it. I just wanted to make a comment because I had said something in my briefing that, moving forward, just want to make sure that everything is properly stated and put in our summary sheets and that they're part of the original contract. We know that we're going to need some additional allowances. We obviously need to build those in, which we traditionally have done. But on this particular item, we're discussing it again. So I had a really good conversation with staff, and I appreciated the conversation that we had yesterday. So
great.
I'll go ahead.
All right. You're moving it, Commissioner Sarah?
I'll go ahead and move to approve.
Second by Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Okay, great. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All right, carries unanimously. Next, we are on to item number 15, policy formation and direction. This is the interlocal agreement between the City of Parkland for community risk reduction, EMS, and fire protection services.
So Mayor, this is we've had a long-standing relationship with the City of Parkland when it comes to emergency services. We started providing EMS services as far back as 1996 with the City of Parkland, and then in 2004 we expanded those services to include community risk reduction, fire, and EMS services. This is a 5-year contract for services. The City Commission of Parkland unanimously approved this contract at a recent meeting, and it's before you today for approval. The only substantive changes from the last contract to this contract is we clarified some language. If there is a termination of the contract, that we will work collaboratively to ensure there are no interruption of services that would negatively affect the citizens of Coral Springs and Parkland. They come first. So we just clarified that language. I want to thank the attorney's office for all the work they did on this contract to make sure all the legal language was appropriate and proper. And also our budget office worked very closely with the City of Parkland's budget office. I'd also like to thank City Manager Nancy Mirando for her professionalism. This contract was negotiated without any issue. We have a great relationship that is beneficial to both the City of Coral Springs and the City of Parkland. The one thing that this contract does ensure that there is no subsidization between the two cities. Both cities pay for their fair share of the services being provided. So staff is asking for the commission to approve this 5-year agreement with the City of Parkland.
Great, it's a request to approve. Is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, it's moved and seconded. Any discussion? Commissioner Simmons.
I just want to say, and I want to make sure this is on record. Coral Springs is its own city, and Parkland is its own city. Yes, we may share services, but I think as a commission and as a city, we need to make sure that when we have any kind of partnership roles or anything with Parkland, it's clearly stated what the roles are and who does what. And I say that because I've seen too many times where when there are good things, our neighboring city loves to be a part of it. But then when there are issues that can deal with any kind of strife, then we're completely separated. And so I want to make sure that that as a commission, that we are always making sure we are standing strong and supporting and representing Coral Springs and not allowing us or our reputation to be taken down a notch or anything like that by someone else who has no stake in our city. So I'm just going to put that out there because I got elected in Coral Springs. I care about Coral Springs, and I will always represent Coral Springs. And so I just want to put that out there.
Sounds good. Gotcha. Any further discussion? I think we have a great partnership. I'm so glad that it went as smoothly as it did, Frank. I think this helps public safety for our community, period. So I'm happy to be saying a yes to this. Vice Mayor?
Absolutely, I'm with you.
Great. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Carries unanimously. Thank you very much, Frank. Thank you, team. Next is item number 16, amendment to Northwest 24th Street, Northwest 27th Street, sidewalk improvement.
Mayor, this is an amendment to a current contract. We have some work going on in those improvement areas, and there's some field conditions, unforeseen field conditions that had to be addressed. Juan Robbie's on the line that can answer any questions you might specifically have about this.
Great. Any questions for Juan? All right. Seeing none, is there a motion to approve and to waive?
Move to approve.
Second.
All right. Commissioner Sarah got in there. You're in for the second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 All right. Carries unanimously. Next is item number 17.
Mayor, I'd asked Chief Perry to tell us a little bit about this. This is purchased for body cameras primarily for our school resource officers. Chief Perry?
Good morning, Chief.
Good morning.
And thank you for your excellent job that you're doing for our city, Chief.
I appreciate that, Mr. Mayor. Thank you very much. This will complete the purchases for all our forward-facing units. They'll all be equipped with body cameras. This purchase will not only ensure that our SROs are wearing body cameras when they're called to respond to a call for service. And just so everybody's clear, the SROs won't have the cameras on actively recording, throughout the day. They'll only activate them like our officers do when they're dispatched to a call or going to an incident that's either on campus or around campus. In addition to having the body cameras for those purposes, the SROs serve a lot of other functions. They work off-duty details and they help supplement manpower staffing during times when school is off or in the summer. So for that, we'd like to outfit them, and that would, as I said, complete all of the forward-facing units, and will all be equipped with body cameras.
All right. Thank you, Chief. Any questions for our Chief? All right. Seeing none, is there a motion?
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Vice Mayor, seconded by Commissioner Sarah. Any discussion?
You can reverse that. He
Okay.
approved it. I was second.
We'll reverse it. You got it. You got it. Thank you. Seeing none, all in favor, please say aye.
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 All right. Carries unanimously. Thank you. Next is item number 18, property and casualty insurance.
Mayor, City Attorney Hearn will fill us in on this one.
Okay.
Thank you, Frank. So every year we bring to you our property and casualty insurance. We have used the Florida League of Cities adjunct corporation, the Florida Municipal Insurance Trust, which is what they administer, which is a not-for-profit that has represented cities, towns, villages in Florida since 1977. We have been with them rather consistently for about 27 years. We did have 1 year where we did try another company and we found the insurance was not the same. We had actually a case that's went through 5-year period, including 1 year there where they denied the coverage and the league accepted the coverage for those other 4 years. So what this insurance includes is our property, City Hall, public safety building, all our real property, also our personal property, premises and operation liability, so our general liability when we get sued for something, vehicle liabilities, workers' compensation, pollution liability, and several others. But the most recent ones that we actually have now is drone liability and importantly, excess cyber security liability. So that obviously has become more and more important. The last year, the actual premium was $2.3 million. This year, it's up 99,000, just over 4%. Almost all of that, 89,000 of it, is increase in property insurance. And that's because the market for property insurance in Florida is a very hard market. It's getting harder and harder. We've had, with the recent incidents of hurricanes and things. So very happy with that number. We had thought it might be more, but thanks to our departments, our liabilities, our lawsuits, knock on wood, our workers' compensation cases have been very well. So we actually decreased on some of those. So this is before you to renew that policy for another year in the amount of just over $2.4 million. Request to approve.
Okay, is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
All right, Commissioner Vignola got the second. Any discussion?
I'll just make a point. When I started selling real estate, homeowners insurance was $65 a month. Now it's $300 to $400 a month now.
Yeah.
So that tells you exactly what the city's going through. The same thing. Costs just keep going up.
They do.
Yeah. Yep. This percentage increase seems reasonable to me.
Mhm.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
All right, carries unanimously. Next is ordinance 2020-114, second reading regarding repealing the 8% interest on liens.
This is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, amending section 8-22.1 of the Code of the City of Coral Springs and section 2218 of the Land Development Code, both entitled liens, in order to repeal those parts of the code which impose interest on liens, providing for conflict, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for an effective date. We had first reading last time. This is a request to approve and adopt on second reading.
Okay, would somebody like to move it?
Move to approve. Take his.
All right, Commissioner Vignola's in, Vice Mayor with the second. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. All right, any opposed? Carries unanimously. Next is item number 20. This is ordinance 2020-115, second reading of AZRC duties.
This is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, amending Chapter 1, Article 4, Section 161 of the Land Development Code of the City of Coral Springs, entitled Administrative Zoning Review Committee Duties and Procedures, and Chapter 25, Article 3, Section 250197 of the Land Development Code of the City of Coral Springs, entitled Strategic Transportation Evaluation Plans, in order to expand the duties of the Administrative Zoning Review Committee, providing for conflict, providing for severability, providing for codification, providing for an effective date. Again, this is a second reading request to approve and adopt.
Great, is there a motion?
Move to approve.
Need a second.
Second.
All right, second by Commissioner Sarah. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? All right, carries unanimously. Thank you. Next is item 21, ordinance 2020-117, second reading regarding off-street parking regulations. And I'm going to hand it over to you, Vice Mayor, as I've got to step out.
Okay.
This is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, amending Chapter 25, Article 8, Section 250811 and 250816 of the Land Development Code of the City of Coral Springs to update regulations relating to off-street parking requirements, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, providing for codification, and providing for an effective date. We had public hearing and first reading. This is a second reading request to approve and adopt.
Okay. Need a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And 22. Okay, the next one, item 22, Attorney Hearn.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. This is ordinance 2020-118. This is an ordinance of the City Commission of the City of Coral Springs, Florida, amending the Land Development Code of the City of Coral Springs to increase certain sewerage service rates and water rates, providing for codification, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. We had public hearing and first reading. This is second reading request to approve and adopt.
Motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Carries unanimously for those of us that are here. And that was 22. So I believe we're on to Commissioner Communications.
Correct.
Anybody want to go?
I'll go.
Thank you, Commissioner Simmons.
Well, want to appreciate Luam for making sure that I jumped on at the time that I needed to. You've been amazing, Luam, and I'm very appreciative to have you, be a part. You're a part of this commission, whether people didn't elect you, but you are a part of this commission, and your gentle reminders and everything has helped me out tremendously, because the last week and a half, maybe 2 weeks, has been I don't want to say a rough adjustment, but an interesting adjustment with school starting back up. And I don't know if you all know, I'm teaching a class at FIU now that I was able to develop for the Honors College called the Psychology of Leadership and Politics. And so, having that and, having the baby and all kinds of things, it's been a very interesting, adjustment. And so, Luam, thank you for kind of making sure that I'm on point as much as I can be. What else? I just want to say thank you to staff as well for getting the drive-in movie off the ground. That's amazing. Wreck-It Ralph on National Gaming Day. I don't think people really realize that that's happening on that day. And so, I think everybody that signed up for it or that are planning on coming out is going to be great. They're going to have a great time to get out the house. At least we'll be able to kind of be around, people in that format. So I just wanted to say thank you to staff for that. Thank you to Lynn and the communications and marketing team for, allowing me and helping me and with the police department. Thank you to the police department as well for engaging in the conversations with the commissioner. I know there will be more that we'll have coming in the future, but it was a really fun journey, and I can't wait for the next round of the conversations, however they may appear. I really enjoy it because I like to talk and I like to talk to people. So it was a win-win for me. I heard nothing but good feedback and comments from many different folks. My friends that are, in different groups and organizations, as well as my biggest fan, my mom, of course. But it was really well received. And, we may not have gotten the viewership that we wanted, and maybe it wasn't controversial enough for some of the local, folks to pick up or anything like that. But we really covered some really great information and really opened up and build some bridges so that we can understand each other more on a human basis. Something to me that's been, I guess, on my mind, and I'll kind of wrap up soon, is all of the violence that's happening, right now in the cities. I think our politics have now made it into a point where people are dying and being seriously injured. And more leaders just around the country and everywhere, we need to take a stronger stance and say violence of any kind will not be tolerated on our streets. I don't care who you support or what you believe in. There should be no types of violence, right? There shouldn't be, people instigating and looking to attack or to destroy things or to hurt people or to take it upon themselves to act as if they are law enforcement and they are not. We need to make sure that we let people know that we will not tolerate any of those activities. We want people to protest. We want people to exercise their rights, but we won't do it to the point where it infringes on anyone else's right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And so I just, wanted to say that because it's really been heavy on my mind that we are just seeing a level of violence in our streets that, quite frankly, we have not seen in 40 or 50 years. And so, I know that this commission and this city prides itself on being open and being fair and reasonable. And I know that if we had any instances of violence, we would take care of it. It doesn't matter what that person or group or entity believes in, but we will stand on the side of what's right and what is the law. And so thank you, everybody.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Vice Mayor?
Sure. Actually, Commissioner Simmons he said it beautifully, that it's wonderful working with staff, and they're very supportive and assisting us and keeping us informed. And I appreciate that. And especially Luam. She's just absolutely terrific. I would encourage everybody to watch Commissioner Simmons' videos, because you'll learn an interesting fact about him, but you have to watch the first one to catch that. So I really don't have anything today. I am grateful for all the residents who have been reaching out to us. We may not always be able to give you the answer that you're looking for, but we are certainly going to try to solve the problems so that you do continue to enjoy living in Coral Springs. If you need to reach me, I'm at 954-998-4186 or joycarter@coralsprings.org. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Great. Thank you very much, Vice Mayor. Commissioner Vignola?
If Sarah could go first, please.
Sure. Commissioner Sarah?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too also want to jump on the accolades and kudos for our staff and Luam as well. We'll jump on the Luam train. But she has been doing a great job for all of us, and we just really appreciate her. I wanted to take a moment to rally around the Jason Stein family. With Jason's passing this past week, really hit home for me personally, because I've known Jason since 2003. Became very close friends with him and his family. Michelle is an assistant principal at Coral Glades. The girls go into Coral Glades and in schools within the city. I just want to, give my heartfelt condolences to the family once again. I talked to staff yesterday. I very much would like to honor his memory when the time is right and the family is involved in the future. This is not only important for me personally, but also for the family and the community at large at Terravella. Coach Stein was definitely a presence on property, really was a go-to person for many. And many of our students also, over the years at Terravella, really got to the next level because of him taking them under his wing and talking to them and really relating to them and giving them some advice that was non-curriculum related. So just once again, Coach Stein will be missed, and I look forward to honoring him in some way, shape, or form in the future. I also wanted to give my condolences to Ronnie Hayward's family, with him being a longtime employee with the City of Coral Springs Parks and Rec, and then also a volunteer coach over at Coral Glades. In the course of 2 days, we lost two very important people. So I know that in talking to staff, we're doing something. There'll be a celebration of life, and I look forward to participating in that. But Coach Hayward will be missed as well. I wanted to acknowledge our entire internal team for a great job on the Slice of Springs. I did not get a chance to watch it in its entirety, but I did get a chance to participate at the beginning, and I'm going to go back and watch. But just very, very proud of how you guys represent us as staff, and it's really cool that the community at large has an opportunity to participate. I want to echo Commissioner Simmons' comments about the Far Out Flicks. I'm looking forward to September 12th. I think it's pretty cool that we just opened that up and 180 slots are gone within a day. That's pretty telling, actually, that people are looking forward to doing something within the city again. That's an initiative led by us. But also, just a reminder for those participating that we got to stay safe. We got to be responsible. And we look forward to having a very successful evening and doing something like that again in the future. If you haven't had a chance to tune into our last workshop, I really encourage you to go back. There's two initiatives that I'm personally super excited, and I know the commission had some really good comments about. And that said, Neighborhoods with Integrity. To me, this is an initiative that was shared with me when I was on the campaign trail. Our former city manager, Mike Goodrum, I had participated and helped build a blueprint where he was originally from. And we took some of his ideas and really, got a little bit deeper and into the weeds. So I see this as a game changer, a really good opportunity for our community residents as a whole to get involved in our city. And it's kind of like, per se, building a bench while also doing your part to build on your neighborhood and build relationships. So look forward to hearing more and learning more, and then also participating in more with regards to Neighborhoods Integrity. And then also Catherine Givens gave a really good presentation on our relationship with the school district and marketing and some exciting things coming forward there. So if you didn't get a chance, go back, watch the last workshop. I thought it was pretty informative, but also pretty exciting with some new work that's ahead of us. I too would like to give my cell phone. If you need anything, feel free to reach out to me. My cell phone number is 954-612-7114. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Sarah. Commissioner Vignola?
I apologize. Someone was walking through the backyard, so the dogs are barking. That's why I asked if Commissioner Sarah could go first. Couple things coming up. The September 11th ceremony that we always do every year. Obviously, with COVID, we're going to do it a little differently. It'll be a virtual ceremony, 10 a.m. City TV, Bluestream, online, social media. You'll be able to find it. But I think that's an important tradition that we carry forward this year. The drive-in movie night, I know everyone's talked about how successful that was, and that sold out very quickly. I know we're planning on doing one, I believe, in October. I'd like to see if the commission would be okay with it, and staff would be okay with maybe adding an additional one of these a month. I don't know when the time change takes place, if we could do two in the same night, do a 6:30 movie, and then, or a 7 o'clock movie, and then do another one at like 9:30. But I like to see us add additional things, because I hate to see people that did not get in right away and be able to get a ticket for this. And we could do it 2 in a night, we could do it, every 2 weeks type of thing. But I'd like to kind of try that out and see how it goes, because there's not, it'd be nice to have some community events in a safe manner. So I'd like to see us do something like that. I'll be holding virtual office hours September 8th from noon to 1. If you'd like to schedule an appointment, talk to the famous Luam at 954-344-5911. Also, obviously, Commissioner Sarah said it best with the passing of Jason Stein and Ronnie. Keep you and your families in our prayers. And if you would like to reach me, please call me on my cell phone at 954-632-7544. But understand, if you call, might not answer right away, but we'll get back to you. Believe it or not, this high-paying job on the commission does not pay the bills. We all work other positions and stuff, so please be patient, and we'll try to call you back in a timely manner. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Vignola. That's true. A lot of people don't necessarily know the mayor does not run the city. The city's run day to day by Frank. The 5 of us have equal votes. We're all part of a great team on the city commission. We do not do it so we get dollars back. We do it because we love to serve our community. And guys and Joy, I love serving with you. It really is a pleasure and an honor to serve with you on the commission. I also want to thank our staff for doing such an excellent job all the time and just, lifting our community during this tough time. Luam, you do an incredible job, an extraordinary job. Even just now, you texted me the reminder about what I wanted to bring up to the commission. So with that, I'm going to ask for support from you all. You had a heads up through the emails. There was a request made by a lady that's been supportive of our community for quite some time here named Jackie Bolden. And she's asked if we would be kind enough to offer a key to the city for the work that was done and is being done by Dottie Ruffin and Margaret Roseberg. You'll have that email pop up on the top of your emails. Luam just sent it there as well. But I'll highlight a couple of the things. So they founded the North Broward County chapter of the Lynx. It had its beginning in 1990 when Dottie, Margaret, and Gloria Butler, who has since moved away from the area, they voiced their concerns about issues that affected our Northern Broward community. They realized that the majority of services and civic organizations emanated from the central area of Broward County, and they were commuting quite a bit there, and they knew that they could do something different here, helping to impact the lives of African Americans in our community. They perceived that there were enough concerns to be addressed in their own community, and they invited many other women to join them, and that's how they organized the North Broward Women's Group. They met monthly to plan and implement various successful projects. And in May of 1995, they were chartered as a chapter of the Lynx Incorporated, and the chapter continues to sustain the vision of its founding members and to fulfill the legacy of the Lynx Incorporated. Their mission statement from their website, thank you, Luam. They're an organization committed to making a difference in the lives of the residents of the North Broward community through the leadership of professional women providing education, services to youth, mentoring, cultural enrichment, support of the arts, and advocacy. So I'd love to have your support to present them with a key at whatever right time. My guess would be after COVID and in person.
I thought we, and maybe I'm a little ahead of myself, but I thought we talked about this or already, or there's some more information that we're supposed to get. I guess that was the email that just got sent, but I thought we had talked about this already, or no? Or was it at the workshop?
We talked about it at a workshop, and I gave you all a heads up that I'll be bringing up at a commission meeting for your support.
So we didn't give direction, I guess, from the workshop that we were gonna, I guess we didn't settle on the direction?
So Mayor, so the way that works under our resolution, the processing for Keith's request is that it's brought up at a city commission meeting.
Okay.
And at the request of any commissioner, it can go to a workshop or it can be addressed right now. The mayor brought up, I know Dottie Ruffin definitely at the workshop. I'm not sure, Mayor, if you brought up both names, but right now, if with the background that you have, you can go ahead and approve that. If you want to speak more about it, it can be done at a workshop. But if everyone agrees, as the mayor said, then the typical way and under the resolution would be you would bring them in for recognition and award the key to the city, as the mayor referenced, probably after COVID would be more effective once we're back to live meetings.
I'm fine with it.
I'm very supportive. I've always thought that they did a great job as community leaders. So I'm behind it.
Wonderful.
As well.
All right. Do I need a formal motion, John?
It talks about it may be considered, because it's a key to the city, I think it'd be nice to have that motion. And then when we are in person is really what you're asking for, one of the first meetings when we're back in person, correct?
Yeah, so excuse me, may I make that motion as the chair, or do I need to pass the gavel over to Vice Mayor?
You can pass that gavel and do it very quickly, sure.
Passed, and I'll make the motion to approve the keys to the city for these young ladies.
Second.
Any discussion? No? All in
I'm very
favor?
happy to have your support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries unanimously.
Great. All right, you'll pass it back?
Yes, here it is.
Great. All right, thank you. I've also been asked if we could do a proclamation for Big Brothers and Big Sisters. You should also have that in your email. Again, Luam, your reminders and you're being on top of things and being proactive. I don't know how you do it. You're amazing. So this would be a proclamation at the next meeting. And they're asking to really just promote the mentoring matches that they provide for both Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Broward County. I think that there's, no time that mentors have been more needed. And I also think there's been no time in our history that we need to hear from the mentees. So I would love to give them a proclamation at our next meeting if I can have your support. Any objections, comments? Do you need more time?
No objection for me.
Okay, great.
Good.
Thank you so much. So I have a couple more items. I don't want to take up too much time, so I'm going to cut down my hours, my items. And thank you for your support. I also want to give my condolences to the family of Ronnie Hayward. Again, continued prayers for you, Michelle, and your family for your loss of your husband. This month is Suicide Awareness Month. I know, Frank, you said you'd share a little bit. And many of you know that I lost my mom to suicide many, many years ago, and I'm very passionate about suicide awareness and suicide prevention. September 10th is actually Suicide Awareness Day, and there will be a seminar, a webinar given by Dr. Scott Poland at 12:30. I would love it if we can promote that from our city media. I think that's important to share with our community, especially during this time. Anxiety and depression have been exacerbated, isolation has increased, and I think one of the constant focuses that we have to have as a community and as a nation is to be able to share kindness and love and non-judgment in regards to mental illness. You know, everybody seeks mental
All
health.
right, so I'm not assigning anything new to you all, but I need you all to pay attention to
Commissioner Simmons, you're on. There you go. So no problem, Joshua. So, everybody wants mental wellness, and it shouldn't be taboo to speak about mental illness. It shouldn't be taboo to talk about, having an addict in your family or needing help for bipolar for your son, whatever it might be. So I'm committed to continue to break the stigma. Every Wednesday, the first Wednesday of every month, I host a Mental Wellness Networking Alliance meeting. And for more information, you can text me at 954-494-9872. Again, 954-494-9872. We meet at 6 p.m. These meetings are virtual currently. In the past, they were held at the offices of Keller Williams. And as a survivor of somebody that was lost to suicide, I can tell you there is life. And of course, we want to prevent suicide as much as we can. So one of my favorite phrases that I share quite a bit is it's okay to not be okay. There are numbers to call. It's 800-227-TALK for free counseling in an emergency. Again, it's 800-227-TALK. The local line is 211. That's the same number that picks up when you call the 800 number. There are a lot of people here that just want to share, hear, listen, not judge, and we're here for you. I remember years ago, I started a suicide prevention initiative, and my commitment was to save at least one life. And at the end of that meeting, a woman had come up to me and she said, "You already honored your commitment." And she told me that because she reached out to me on Facebook however many months prior, and me sharing my story about losing my mom, she decided to have a different path for her children. So I know by sharing we can make a difference. So I invite you all to be part of breaking the stigma. I invite you to become a part of the Mental Wellness Networking Alliance. And for those of you here at the city, for those of you, whether directly or your families, if you're having any struggles, my heart is with you and I'm here for you. And we're all here for you. This organization is an unbelievable, tight-knit community, and we don't want to lose you. So, don't be afraid to reach out for help. And Mom, I love you. I'm completing this gentleman's term, Mayor Campbell. I am looking forward. Again, I just want to make a plan because part of my vision is we're coming out of COVID and we can have these gatherings whenever that might be. I want to make a plan to have that celebration in honor of his life and in honor of the dedication that we have outside the street here, naming the street after Mayor Campbell. So if we can kind of get that on the radar, maybe for March, subject to moving, I'd really appreciate that, Frank.
Mayor, and as you know, the St. Patrick's Day was the goal for this year, and we couldn't do it. So the goal is to do it on St. Patrick's Day in 21, and it is on the radar. It's there, and hopefully we can do something in person then.
That'd be great, and that's good to hear. Two more items. One is we have a buy local campaign from our local chamber. We're in combination with Coconut Creek, and you can get all the details from the website, and that is csccrchamber.com. Thank you, Cindy, for this initiative. Thank you for everything you do for our community. We have the best chamber in the land, some great businesses, great ambassadors, great leaders. And we actually have more and more new businesses coming into town. And I'm visiting some of you when you make those requests through Luam. And the best number to call for the business visit or for my office hours is 954-344-5911. If there's something personal you want to share, you need to reach me. You can text me on my cell. And my main city cell phone is 954-696-7599. It's an honor and privilege to be your mayor and to serve you. And with that, I'll conclude my comments. Thank you. We're on to you, Frank, City Manager's Communication.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple things. First off, on behalf of staff, on Saturday, we paid our final respects to Ronnie Hayward. Ronnie was a dedicated city employee and part of this, our city family, for 32 years. This was the only primary job that he ever held. Hearing the stories about Ronnie from his coworkers, his family, his friends, and his students that he coached, the players that he coached were truly moving. A man that was dedicated to his city, was dedicated to the players, and truly respected them and was a mentor to them, and he will be missed. On behalf of the family, they wanted me to extend their gratefulness to the city commission and city leadership for honoring Ronnie and for being there for them in their time of need. We will have a follow-up event. When we have more details on that, we'll make sure we get it out to you guys. As far as COVID goes, I do want to highlight a couple things. The COVID numbers are going in the right direction. And we have to take, unfortunately, we have to take the numbers that were reported yesterday out of the equation because there was a data dump from a backlog of cases. So prior to yesterday, the state saw the first time in almost 2 months under 2,000 new cases. And prior to that, we were seeing right around the 3,200, anywhere from 2,000 to 3,700, probably averaging about 3,200 for the last week cases a day, which is much lower than we saw in July. The median age continues to be right around that 40-year-old mark. The other thing that is important to note is, again, taking yesterday out of the equation because of that, the data that was put in, a whole bulk of backlog. We were around the 5% positivity rate for the state for quite a few days prior to that. There were some ups and downs there, but on average it was around 5%, and that's kind of what we were shooting for. As far as Broward County goes, that average age is still around 40. Broward County saw 2 consecutive days under 200 cases reported, which again, we have not seen numbers that low in a long time, with the exception of yesterday. That affects not only the state, but the county. Broward County was also seeing some under 5% reporting. So from the last 10 days, 3 of those 10 days were under 5%. Some of them were very close to the 4% mark. So it's encouraging to see those numbers going in the right direction. We've seen a decrease in visitation to the hospital with flu-like symptoms, which are very close to COVID-like symptoms. We look at the positivity rate, we look at the numbers, but we look at the hospitals. And that's really a good indicator of how we're doing. And right now the hospitals have about 20% of overall availability bed capacity, meaning about 80% of the bed capacity is being used. And for the first time in probably over a month, there's over a 21% availability for ICU beds. For a while there, we were hovering around the 8-9% availability. So what that means is 79% of our ICU beds are being used, which is a better number than we had previously seen for quite some time. So these are all great signs. The one thing I would like to really reiterate is that it's not time to take our foot off the gas. We need to be vigilant. We need to make sure that we're following recommendations, with social distancing, proper wearing of face coverings, and hygiene. That's all going in the right direction. The county extended the restaurant hours, as you know, by 1 hour. And I've heard from several local restaurants that this was a massive help to them. So this is something that truly helped them out. Governor DeSantis announced yesterday about allowing visitation back into nursing homes and assisted living facilities. Our legal staff is looking at that right now to see how that affects us. We do have a separate order on that, meaning the city does, and we want to make sure we know how that affects us and we can put the proper notifications out to our assisted living facilities and nursing homes to make sure they're staying within the orders. First and foremost, we want to make sure that that vulnerable population is protected and we're keeping them as healthy as possible. On Friday, September 25th from 9 to 3, we'll be hosting a plasma drive along with a blood drive at the old City Hall site. So you can go on our website to get more information about that. You'll get a free wellness check along with your donation. September, as you mentioned, Mayor, September is Suicide Awareness Month. And our health and safety team is working to make sure that our employees are well aware of the resources that are out there, well aware of the signs and symptoms, and well aware that we are here for them to help them and to assist them in any way we can. We're also working through our communication and marketing department to get that information out to our residents. So I'm going to ask Lynn just to give us a quick brief of what we're doing from a communication standpoint for Suicide Awareness Month.
Good morning, Commission, and thank you, Mayor, for sharing your experience. As you know, throughout the month of September and starting yesterday on the 1st, we began sharing important information about mental health and suicide awareness. We are really promoting 211 and the services that are available to our residents. These social posts will be seen across all platforms, and we'll be sharing them every Monday throughout the month. Our last conversation with a commissioner series emphasized mental health training for police, including crisis intervention training and de-escalation. Lieutenant DeRosa did a phenomenal job with Commissioner Simmons, really explaining that important role. Raquel Farrell-Kirk, our art therapist at the Coral Springs Museum of Art, continues to offer programming Art for Warriors, which is geared strictly to veterans, Art for Teachers, and Chat It Up for students throughout the month. These programs promote meditation and mindfulness to help during stressful times. Residents can learn more about those programs or participate through coralspringsmuseum.org. Again, these are all virtual due to the COVID-19 pandemic. I do want to thank you, Mayor, and I want to thank our commission. You've assisted us with the video, and as you know, it's okay to not be okay. And we will be promoting that to our internally to our employees on September 10th, which is National Suicide Awareness Day. So I just wanted to remind our public that that is the day that that'll be coming out. And as you know, it's important that we eliminate the stigma. So with everything around mental health, we remind our residents that there is help out there. Mayor, I know you mentioned 211 Broward. You can call that number, or you can text your zip code to 898-211. Again, if you need help with mental assistance, any type of counseling, you can text your zip code to 898-211. And that's all I have.
Great. Thank you so much, Lynn. Really appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Lynn. Mayor, we have a couple events coming up. We'll be hosting a virtual September 11th ceremony in remembrance of September 11th. It'll take place at 10 a.m. on our social media platforms, streamed live on City TV. Residents are invited to visit the memorial, where a wreath will be laid in front of the Northwest Regional Library. We just asked we're not doing the event from there, so residents can visit at their leisure anytime on September 11th. And we ask that, masks be worn, social distancing and hygiene be in place. As mentioned earlier, within 2 hours of posting the drive-in movie, it was sold out. We are looking for other opportunities to host additional drive-in movies, and look forward to see how this one goes. But if this is successful, as we think it will be, we'll be looking for opportunities to host. The last thing I have, Mayor, I want to talk about calendars. I need I need you guys to take action on one thing. November 4th, the meeting was going to be held in the morning at 9 a.m. And that is the Wednesday after Election Day. So as you know, that could be a late night for a lot of our elected officials waiting for results and so forth and so on. So we're asking for that meeting to be moved to a night meeting. John, I believe we need to take, just get at least consensus on that on the record.
Yep. What we'll do is if we can take a motion on that, and also recognize, we've brought this up before, that that will be the only meeting we will have in November. The November 18th meeting is being canceled. I believe that's because of the seminar, the national
There's
seminar.
there's a virtual conference.
National conference. So if you would take that motion, and we'll simply do Mayor draft and adopt, and have you sign that to recognize that.
Okay, thank you, John. Commissioner Simmons, you had your hand up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I may still be confused, and I may sound like a broken record, just trying to figure out where we are with changing the meeting times. I'm not sure if we actually settled that, but I'm curious as if that, I'm not, and again, forgive me if I don't remember what the actual final solution was.
Yeah, Commissioner, we brought that up a couple meetings ago as well. There's a reason for that confusion. There was 2 workshops but the first workshop was that you were going to address it in the August, September area. We had a separate workshop in June, and Deborah checked the minutes on that. And that was that you all agreed that you would wait till this election coming. The intention was to address it, but you wanted to have all the new commission members there. So we brought that up, that we would be addressing that in the meeting in December, first meeting in December.
Okay. All right. First meeting in December. Got it. So just wanted to make sure, because we're talking about the meeting time. So, all right.
Would you like to move this item so that we have the November 4 meeting at the evening?
Move to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, carries unanimously. And Commissioner Simmons, I get confused about different things, different times, a lot of moving parts. I love that you always speak up, and there's nothing to be embarrassed about. These are great questions all the time.
And then, Mayor, the last thing on the calendars, speaking of confusion, September is an interesting month when it comes to meetings because of the budget process. So I want Catherine just to cover the meetings really quick so we're 100% clear on what our meetings look like for September. Catherine?
I love that you're proactive like that, Frank. Thank you. Thanks, Catherine. Good morning.
Hello, good morning. All right, so Monday, September 14th at 5:15 p.m. is our first public hearing for next year's city budget. And we are in the process of scheduling a workshop thereafter per our last workshop. So that's the plan for September 14th. Then on Monday, September 21st at 6:30 is our second public hearing and also a regular commission meeting. Then we also have Wednesday, September 30th at 5 p.m. and that is our city workshop as we finish out the fiscal year.
And Catherine, just to make sure we have no confusion, that's because the 9/23 meeting is being moved to 9/21, correct?
Thank you very much. Yes. So we had moved the Wednesday 23rd to the Monday 21st. Correct. Thank you.
And Mayor, just because I'm not sure if we had made a motion about that before, you might as well make it now. So we can-
All right, so we're kind of like back to the future.
Yes.
So we're gonna move September 23 by motion to September 21.
Please.
And I know Commissioner Simmons would love to make that motion and unconfuse everybody.
Move to approve.
Second.
And seconded by Commissioner Sarah. Any discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right.
Thank you.
Carries unanimously. Thank you, John.
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, can I ask Catherine to repeat that last date? Was it September 30th? Just wanted to make sure.
Correct. Wednesday, September 30th at 5 o'clock is our city workshop.
And we anticipate that we're scheduling for 2 hours?
Right now, it's looking like 2 hours. We'll get through the workshop on the 14th and see if we have any carryover items. But right now, it's looking like 2 hours.
Thank you so
Great.
much.
Thank you. Anything further, Frank?
Mayor, that's all I have, and I can assure you, Luam, we'll make sure your calendars are all straight with those meetings. So thank you.
Great. Thank you. Next up is our city attorney.
We'll all go to Luam to make sure that's settled, by the way. The only update I have for you, Frank mentioned the ALF order from the governor. We are reviewing that, and we'll be finishing that review tomorrow. And also, the governor did, at about 7:30, a few hours before it was to expire on August 31st, he did continue the moratorium on evictions and foreclosures to the end of this month at midnight. So just wanted to give you that update in case people were asking. It kind of happened quickly there. And I have nothing else to report. Thank you, Mayor.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. Larry, I'm going to need 20 minutes, but if you need to start in 15, that's fine with me. Commissioner Simmons, you had your hand up.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I just want to say, John, I think, all of us and the mayor kind of opened the meeting with this. We definitely are sending whatever love and energy we can send and support to you and your family during this time of uncertainty in your family right now. So
thank you very much. I'm going up tomorrow to see my father. So we'll see how it goes.
Well, I'll make sure that I remain ethical in the time that you're gone and not cause to any grief whatsoever. I'll be good.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone. Please, everybody, stay safe, stay kind, stay connected. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
We come back at 10.